Wow, did I just time it right? Those low clouds are cruising like they were the other day, but just look at what's above them. I'm trying to slow down so you can see how fast those low ones are moving. On the camera, they don't look like they're moving. Isn't that weird? Blue spot. Number one said last night before she left, we're supposed to have rain today. That just means them weather guessers are always like they usually are. Confused and stupid. Because today was supposed to be a nice day, but you know. Yes, sir, you can see them lower clouds are moving. A lot faster in real life than what the camera is showing. Anyway, I'm going to grab me a, a little gallon sprayer that's down here and make sure it's got diesel in it. I'm going to see if I can hose some stuff off. Really should have done it last night, but you know. On the other hand, it's been sitting in there in the warm, which will help. Looks like things have got moved around here a little, and it feels like it's full. Saves me having to fill it up. Works pretty good though. It's the one we use for spraying the manure spreaders down and spraying the fertilizer buggy down. Yeah, I'm a little stuffy this morning. Didn't quite freeze, but almost. Excuse you, you can stare at the door. Something like that so I can get in. And I'm just going to pump this thing up. And I'm going to start by spraying where that white is. Get as much of that flushed out as we can. And this other side won't take much. You can see there's a little bit of white on the sprocket, but you know, it didn't get much in it. Kind of a pain in the ass when you do like we did on this side and seal the covers down, but I'm going to say maybe it's worth it. I don't know. And number one says she's going to clean these things up. Definitely need to clean that one up so we can make the threads work. I think that one's probably scooched the way it is, because unfortunately the way these things are made, where there's no cover right here, when you get into manure, especially the stickier stuff, when we get into the barn and start cleaning that, you'll get chunks that are, oh hell, big enough they can't drop in here, because it'll rest here once in a while and you just got to grab one and throw it out. But throws off the back tire. Yeah, plenty of room there. It just comes right on up and right on in. And you know, I usually check that and throw stuff out of there, but I don't know. Just what it is. Yeah, would have been nice if that was protected better. Be even better if this machine was made like the C models, where the cab just slides forward so you can access everything. But you know, that would require a newer machine. Of course, on the other hand, the cat machine that's sitting in the next bay down, it's a 04 model, and it ain't any easier to get to stuff. The only thing different they did on that is the radiator's not on the back. Its radiator sits up above, and it hinges up so you can access better. Other than that, it's kind of the same as getting into this. There's no easy way. And there's 4.5 minutes of your day. Okay, I just told you it was diesel. This side came really good. Expected that. This side actually, you know, a little still stuck to it, but, and you can see the cream down below. But we'll take at least a gallon anyway and pour right in here. Probably do a little more flushing first, get a little more off of the, but it is what it is. It's kind of a pain in the ass getting to the back, but you can't get back very far because the center of the axle's like straight down here, so you can't get around the chain very well. But there's pretty clean on this side, and get over here. Yeah, come on, light. This side looks better back here than it does in the front, so I'm gonna guess that probably most of the water does get in at the front. Pretty well knew that anyway. Just gotta do some bucket swapping before we pour much through. There's room in that little blue one. I can, flush another half gallon, but usually a couple of gallons in each side to actually flush everything out. Because both those mag plugs were full of stuff, but you got to remember, you got 3 big chains in there, all the sprockets, and this for a park lock. I can't get in to show it to you. My phone in hand won't fit in there. But the center sprocket, which is off the drive motor, has punched holes in it, and there's just a slug down underneath. I'll hook to this lever. They're locked right now. Bring this up and hook it. Put spring tension on it and pop them back out. And those, where they're in and out all the time and things don't want to move right away because they didn't want to release, you knock a little chunk off every single time. Best idea? I don't know. But it works, and to the best of my knowledge, everything inside these 2 chain cases is original. The only thing in the bottom part that I've changed is wheel bearings on that one. I never knew there was grease zerks in there, and we had it 3 or 4 years, and that one went out. We were moving hay. Imagine my surprise when I'm leaning to the right, and all of a sudden I'm leaning more to my right with a bale in the air. And that's the only thing under, in that part, and that's a pain in the ass to do too, because you got to take everything apart there. I mean, other than that, I blew one pump up years ago. I had to replace the barrel and the pistons, and lost a couple hydraulic lines underneath, and one of those was one that had been replaced before I got it, and it was actually on the drive system, and the drive system's a 5,000-pound system, so the idiots that replaced it put a 2,500-pound line on it. That was brilliant. 4 more heifers tied up. I would have got you some of the rodeo, but 2 of us doing it. Not like I could hold my phone to do it. Instead, my phone was in my pocket, and I was pocket watching Straight Pipe Acres. I watched part of it. I got to hear all of it. He's got BCP Farming and Trucking spreading manure for him, and trip to the Agribition to watch his friend's show. Pretty good show, Ryan. Thank you for showing that. Appreciate it. That was one place I never did make it when we used to show all the time. We always talked about it, but it's a long trip. So anyway, this be the next bunch. That one there with the blue halter, that is Lena 2.0. That's Leapin' Lena's daughter. I actually got the halter on her right away. I was surprised. And the one next to her, 132, I think. And that dark one in the middle, that's that one with the red that comes up over the top of her head. I call her Pretty Girl. And I don't remember who Ty said that one is, but at any rate, there's 4 more tied. And we're going to let poor Jackson have a few days off down there and relax. He seems pretty content. I mean, he's by himself, but, not like we can let any of these girls in with him. It wouldn't be good. So he'll get tied up again, probably with the last bunch. Maybe. get him so we can actually lead him to the back barn. We don't got to load him up in a trailer to take him down. So, yeah, you know what the fun is for the next 4 or 5 days. And she'll learn. The middle two, they didn't take long. I flipped some grain in after we got this one up. And they both said, hey, grain, I'm not going to fight this. I'm just going to stand here and eat. A little early for Christmas, but number one got Rainy a little Santa Claus.
Is that your baby? Right here.
So now she's just happy as can be. And poor Santa.
Rain, please.
Looks like he's been through the mill.
He does.
She just started.
Lay down. Lay down.
Yeah. Please. Shows how clean the shop floor is, right?
Please. Sit, please.
Project becomes a bigger one. That's the one that the threads were packed full of shit. She's still trying to get the nut off so we can actually clean them up. And the mate to that one, zoom you around, that one came from there. The mate to that one was right here and the rubber was loose. So Permatex one on the plastic side, that cord oil's on there for weight so it'll stick good to it. Bad thing is, I was hoping to have this thing out of the shop this morning and using it, but do it right or don't do it. Flush this side after I sprayed everything down. This side's been flushed with a gallon of diesel. And that happens to be the oil we got from the neighbors. The leftovers after the gal's husband passed. And got a case plus 4 quarts. And it's the only thing we're going to use it for, something like this. So I dumped a quart in just to flush the diesel and whatever else out. I mean, it doesn't hurt. Not like I went and paid freaking $12 a quart for it. And that's the oil we'll go ahead and put in. It's like, why not? So she gets that one cleaned up and we'll get it. Oh, great. I was afraid of that. On these, this is the new style. It's welded in. On these old ones where it's the plastic clamp piece, it's just molded in and it's a turning. Yeah. Not what we needed. Well, we had a pretty nice sunrise this morning. The time she got here, she brought the crap with her and it's been nasty out there ever since. I know it looks bright by the door, but off camera, that's just because everything is freaking wet. Hasn't been a heavy rain, it's just small drops. Just warm enough that it didn't snow when it started.
I don't know how it didn't.
Actually, it was still like 36 degrees, which, they say optimum snow is like 36 to 38 degrees for accumulation. But anyway, nasty enough out there. Wind's been blowing off and on. We're still working on this. Here's the covers, cleaning them up and gluing the gaskets back on here. And it's this one. This is the one we had a hard time getting apart. She worked it and worked it and worked it and finally broke loose in here, so it was spinning. Cut a slot in the top, put a screwdriver on it. I mean, there's a bad spot in the thread right there, but
I blame old age.
She blames old age. I finally got the nut back down on it, took a thread file to it, and got it cleaned up enough to stick a screwdriver on there and get the nut off. I've run a die over that and tightened her up a couple times so it's cut a little smaller at the top. It doesn't show it, but and I ran a tap through the nut, which really didn't do anything, but that's where it wouldn't turn before. So we'll make sure it's lubed well. And say, there's a screwdriver slot in the top, so if it's an issue later, no big deal.
Well, it is where
as long
it
as
has
it doesn't
to go.
pull out of here, so.
There's no room to get a screwdriver in where it has to go, really.
Yeah, there is.
Not very much.
She doesn't think you can get into places. So she swapped me stuff. That's the one I was working on. Then she says, oh, here, I'll trade you, because she still had to clean part of that up. So I'm going to, can't read it all. Permatex 1, the black stuff that gets hard and holds better.
comes out brown.
She says it comes out brown. Smearing it around here and then putting it on.
And it stays brown, Dad.
Setting it on there. And when we go to put it together, the ones on the back will go together dry. We may put a little grease on. We've done that before too. Because the backs don't get the water like the front ones do. Look at that weird look.
When I took those apart, they all had gasket maker on it.
Back ones didn't?
Yes, they did.
The one I took out didn't.
I'm sorry.
Oh well. Anyway, we'll use a little bit of RTV on the front. Keep the water out as best we can. One of these days, might have to buy new gaskets because they're getting pretty squished down. But
If we can
yeah,
find them.
they're still fit tight. What the hell? So hopefully get that thing done today. I still got to flush the right side. Still got to put the plug in the left side and fill it. But there ain't no sense in filling it until I got the covers ready. Butch up. Back covers are on. They're sealed. I had to go to the service truck to get Permatex 2 for the bottom side of the seal. Had just enough Permatex 1 to hopefully stick the seals to the cover. This one still needs to get this edge cleaned off a little. Just get the oil off so the Permatex will stick. But there's 4 quarts in each side so far. Book says 5. I always put at least 5 in.
Just we're not as stupid
And
as the guy on that.
like I say, I got this stuff. There's nothing we're going to use it in because we use Dello 400 or our new barrel. This stuff is a different brand, but it's supposed to be the same thing. So, as soon as those actually drain out, I'll dump 2 more in each side and put the covers on and be done. And she was just babbling about a thread I was reading a little bit ago. Some poor guy.
Fix stupid.
It's not a matter of fixing stupid. Somebody told the poor guy to put 90 weight in the chain cases. Well, chain cases spec is 10W30. All it's doing is the chains, and 10W30 is thin enough to get into the chain itself and lubricate the internals on it. 90 weight, it ain't hurting anything. It's just not lubing as well as it could.
Wait, was that the guy that put 5 gallons
Oh yeah,
in?
the guy put 5 gallons in too. And somebody in the thread goes, well, you fill up to the fill plug on the side. There is no fill plug on the side on this case. The only plug is the drain plug in the bottom. Unless there is one on the inside somewhere and you will never get to it. So anyway, we're going to throw our cord over, which ain't going to hurt a damn thing. Like I said, I got the stuff, didn't pay anything for it, want it gone.
I'm going to use your fancy tool.
Oh yeah, and she picked those up for me.
I ordered them. I didn't
Yeah, radiator fin straighteners. Because she's all worried about the oil cooler on the back of this thing. I thought she had it open, but she didn't yet.
No, the top.
Push it on it.
I know, that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, well, you push in it, I'll pull up on it. Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, top one it got bumped into something a long time ago.
And it was not my fault.
Anyway, the oil cooler right there, you can see the top of the fins are, yeah. So she thinks she's going to straighten those up while it's in here. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. You can see how flat they are.
I have fingers now, too.
After she puts the brace back on,
They're not swollen, but
that hand is actually the size of the other hand again, and the wrist looks the same. She's just still sore. Just did I get a little of this?
No, it's just come down.
Yeah. Then she told me she unplugged the radio, so that means I have to do this. Last little bit of oil is drained into the chain cases, and back covers are on and sealed. Just got to get the front covers on yet. But she wanted to get these girls to water. And, yeah. This one, I missed it. I wasn't quick enough. She did a little pirouette and threw herself on the ground. And that's where she ended up standing, is about right there. They may not drink tonight. Who knows? If they're pissed off enough, they won't. And by the way, you can probably hear the wind. And if you notice, the rain is going horizontal. You kind of see it there in the middle of the screen looking against the trees. And those trees up there dancing pretty good. So it's been like this since about 9:30 this morning. Started out beautiful and went to shit. So anyway, I don't know if you're going to see this one drink. So I'm going to call it a video right here. Thank you all for watching. Hope you've had a good Saturday and hope your Sunday's a good day too.